Hi, guys. Thank you
How do we get
so
there?
much for getting on the call with us. I am honored to introduce my good friend, Miki Montgomery. She is an early childhood educator, and she has a huge passion for kiddos and nutrition. She has four boys of her own, and I am so excited that she's going to bless us with her amazing knowledge. So, Miki, take it away.
Awesome. Okay, let me get over here where I can share the screen with you guys real quick. Okay. Can I get a thumbs up from you, Michaela, if you guys can see the screen okay? All right. Well, as Michaela said, I have been in the early childhood development and teaching field for over 25 years. So when it comes to my heart belonging somewhere, it is with God's little children of this world. And I thought a long time ago that early education intervention was the key to a child's future success when they were adult. And it wasn't until recently that I was made aware that a child can't have success as an adult if they're unable to learn. Okay. And one of the reasons why our children are having such a difficult time learning today in schools is because of nutrition deficiency. Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Oh, hold on a second. Let me get it on here. Oh, is it doing that? There we go. Okay. The book that I read, or should I say dog-eared, sticky noted, highlighted, back and forth, and that I would recommend for anybody to get who wants to learn more about this, is called NDD, and it's by Dr. William Sears. It's part of his parenting library. It's his most recent one. NDD, because he is touching on the fact of all the D's in this world. NDD is nutritional deficiency disorder. Okay. In his book, he states that children are getting sicker and sadder. Sorry, hold on. Let me fix my screen right here so I can read it all. Children are getting sicker, sadder, and fatter. And why? Because they have lost a taste for real food. And we'll talk in a little bit what I mean when I'm talking about real food. Fake foods are causing illness and taking over our pantries. And both parents and doctors have lost sight of the fact that real food is real medicine. So, real food and fake foods. What am I talking about when I say that? Oh, every time it does that. Okay. First of all, how do you know if your child knows if you see signs of NDD? Okay. Have you seen these in any of your children? And I don't just mean school-age children. I mean children who are not school-age yet, and I also mean high school children. Frequent mood swings, unrelenting temper tantrums, restless sleep. I'll let you guys read through all of these. The point is that as a teacher myself in the teaching field, one of the first things I can do when I get a new classroom of kiddos is identify these behaviors in these kids, okay? Immediately after doing assessments, I can tell whether there's a learning difficulty. Immediately, I can tell whether there's vision problems. I can tell if there's hyperactivity. And I've been guilty as a teacher to look at a child and say, oh, that child's got ADD or that child's got ADHD. But to be honest with you, my guilt comes out of what facts are stated to us today as far as how children behave in the classroom. But what Dr. William Sears is saying is that all of these ADDs, ADHDs can be prevented with nutrition. Okay, so here we have what he's calling the D epidemic. The D epidemic, ADD, OCD, ASD, BPD, and ODD. And not to mention one of the biggest D's that he doesn't mention, particularly right here on this slide, but they are now calling diabetes and obesity. They're combining it and they're calling it diabesity. That's an actual term now for our children because our children are becoming to the point of obese that they are getting diabesity at a young age. Mind you, that they weren't getting, okay, at this age 40 some years ago. And so Dr. Sears is like, to treat these Ds, children are taking more prescription drugs than ever before. In almost his 40 years as a pediatrician, he has never before seen so many drugs for so many different types of Ds. And that's a fact. And if all of you know or have experienced or have any loved one who you know is suffering from any of these Ds, what is the first thing that a doctor does? You take your child to the doctor. The doctor says, oh, I recognize this behavior, this behavior, this behavior. What that doctor doesn't have time to do is go back, in that child's, 5, 10 years of nutritional history and say, okay, well, this is where this is causing the imbalance and causing your child's D's. So let's just take the long route and do something about their diet. Tonight, we're going to talk about the difference between your child's diet and the difference the medications may or may not be making. First of all, what do your kids already know? Now, mind you, this presentation that I put together originally was for a large group of people, and I want the people to bring their kids. So I said, bring your kids from ages 5 to 15 or even older than that, because I wanted it to be an interactive type thing for both kids and both parents, because ultimately we role model and we implement the behaviors and the habits for our kids. So as we go through this presentation tonight, just kind of imagine you're sitting in a room in front of me at a table and you're doing these activities with me and your child is sitting next to you. If your child is in the room with you and it's a school-age child, by all means, have them sit and watch this with you, because there's going to be some things on here that you can do with them and that they can learn as we are interacting together on this call tonight, okay? So as a teacher, I can tell you what your child already knows, okay? This is what I've already taught them. What do they know about junk foods? You can ask them that questions. What do they know about quote unquote healthy foods? What do they drink? Do they know that drinking pop is unhealthy? Probably. Certain juices and sport drinks. Do they know the importance of exercise? Probably. In your schools today, there's a huge movement to get kids up and moving. We do these brain breaks all the time, where after a certain amount of time of sitting and working, they get up and we, do the electric boogaloo, or, we do some sort of dance. What is that? Teach me how to Dougie. I don't know. All those goofy kid dances that are out there nowadays, these kids love them. And we get up and we have them do a 5-minute brain break to get their bodies moving and to get their blood flowing. All right. Sleeping. Do you know the importance of your child's sleep per night? Do you know the importance of your sleep per night? As adults, we need at least 8 hours of sleep per night. Do you know the younger that your child is, the more sleep they're supposed to have, which makes sense because you think about the developmental years of a child from age birth to 5, that's when they do most of their long-term developing as far as their brain health and their organs and all of that. Sleeping is the time where your body repairs and grows itself. So sleeping is just as important as nutrition and exercise. And then last but not least, drinking water. Does your child know the importance of drinking water? Yeah, my mom tells me I need to drink more water, but why is mom telling me I need to drink more water? All right, tonight we're going to talk about the whys. This is what you need to know, the whys. Why is everybody telling you to do this? What you as a parent already know. Now, mind you, don't forget, I have been just as guilty as this. I've only been with the Juice Plus company for 3 years now. I prided myself in early childhood development and early childhood understanding, but I didn't know how much I didn't know until I found out about how much nutrition really has an effect on our children's learning. So you already know that junk food is bad for them. You already know that sugar is bad for them. They need to eat, roughly 9 to 13 servings of fruits and veggies per day. And mind you, that doesn't mean 5 apples, 3 bananas, and 4 bites of broccoli, okay? We are talking a variety of fruits and vegetables in order for your body to get the nutrition that it needs. You know that they need exercise. You've heard that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but what else do you know? And do you know just how important that all of these things really are? So what you need to know is the goals of optimal nutrition and healthy eating habits in early childhood. Mind you, let that just kind of flash in front of you right now. Nutrition and healthy eating habits in early childhood. Physical growth and development. All of this is stuff that markers that your doctors track. When you take your child in for their 1-month checkup, 3 months, 6 months, 12-year checkup, and then yearly checkups. Your doctors track their visual and their cognitive, their brain development. They also keep track of how many times is your child getting sick throughout the school year or at home. Do they have healthy body functions and organ systems, digestive, cardiovascular, and neurological? We're seeing a lot of kids with IBS anymore. So many kids with digestive tract problems. Do they have age-appropriate weight gain? Is their physical and cognitive milestones, are they being hit at the right times? Do they enjoy healthy foods as a way of life, or do they look at them as I can't believe she's making me eat these things? And do you teach your child, or does your doctor help teach you how to teach your child about how really, truly early nutrition shapes the future of each child's tastes and healthy habits? So let's quickly talk about your child's development, because I feel like you need to know the importance of the development of your children, not just from, and this includes prenatal health, but if you understand the growth and the development of your child from birth on, maybe you'll understand the importance of the right nutrition being given to them, and not just kind of being like, oh, well, we try our best, but we give them what we can. So your prenatal development, now check it out. The central nervous system, they start developing at 3 weeks in the womb. This is in the womb, okay? Your palate, so we're talking about the taste buds on your child's tongue while they are developing in the womb, that starts developing at 6 3/4 weeks of pregnancy. Their heart, go over here to their heart, check this out. Their heart starts developing at 3.5 weeks, you guys. 3.5 weeks. Can I just say something real quick? Do you know that doctors are finding arteriosclerosis in babies when they are born now? Arteriosclerosis in babies. That's hardening of the arteries, of the heart arteries, after being born. They haven't even had the chance to bite into a French fry yet. And they're finding this in babies, okay? And then let's go down to, let's see, ears, 4 weeks, teeth, 6 weeks. Okay? All of these are developing in the womb at this time. Now, most of you probably know that 9 months of development is one of the fastest growing developmenting times for any child. And then they go on to birth, all right? Now, once your baby is born, the rate of growth is most rapid from birth to 12 months after they're born. The mother's milk is the primary source of nutrition. Now, we are doing a lot better nowadays getting mothers to understand the importance of a mother's milk, okay? But does the mother also understand the importance of what she's eating is going through that milk and through to your child too? I think most mothers do know that, but your nutrition is just as important as that baby's nutrition. And then check this out. Your child begins solid foods around 6 months old. Do you know what the most common solid food is given to a child at 6 months old? A French fry. It's a potato. It's something they can hold and they can grasp really easy, and they can gum it if they have teeth or not. I'm guilty, you guys. I got 4 boys. I did this, okay? And also, a French fry in the FDA standards is considered a vegetable, regardless of whose French fry it is, whether it's one of the famous, fast food chains French fries, or whether it's one that's just fried in your own kitchen. It's one of the most common vegetable foods given to a child around 6 months old. Here we go, 12 to 24 months, the growing years. Here's where a child starts transitioning into their own feeding capabilities and nutritional needs. Your child can say more, can you please give me more? You can teach them how to use a spoon or a fork so they can start feeding for themselves, even though they can barely keep anything on there. The growth for a child slows during this time. And I don't know about any of you, but my kids, probably just my first 2, anytime that my kid wouldn't eat during this stage, I kind of freaked out. I thought I had to shove food down their throat in order to get them to eat. I didn't know. And then on top of that, I would give them whatever they wanted as long as they ate. If it was some French fries because they would eat it, okay. If it was a cheeseburger that I would cut and dice up, okay, I would give it to them, because I was thinking there's something wrong if my child's not eating, because as adults, we think, well, we're hungry all the time. We need to eat all the time. My baby's got to eat if they want to grow. But let me tell you a secret. Your child has a timer inside that tells them whether they're hungry or not. And if you overfeed that timer, what you're doing is you're telling that timer that, wait a minute, my timer's off. I need to go by the parent's timer. I need to be hungry more often. This is one of the things that's leading to obesity, okay? So let your child tell you when they are full. Don't make them finish their plate. Save it, put it in a Ziploc bag, or stick it in the refrigerator if you want to save food, but don't make them finish their food. The old adage that they used to tell us, you need to finish everything on your plate before you can have anything else. You don't need to do that. You don't even do that. Let the child listen to their internal clock. All right, so during this time, it's still important that they get the essential nutrients to support development. Their tastes are being shaped during this time. Everything that you give them is everything that they're going to start craving. 2 to 5 years, the impressionable years, they are watching you, they're watching dad, they're watching brother, they're watching everybody around them and what they're eating. You could stick some steamed broccoli in front of them and tell them this is good for them, you need to eat it. But if they don't see you eating it too, that's why they're going to push it away. They're going to want what's on your plate. That's why they call this the impressionable years, okay? They do become more physically active. This is where it really becomes important for large and small motor skills improving, learning to jump high, learning to run. And as I said, their food preference mimics that of older children and adults, mainly the ones like directly within their environment and their household, okay? Now, this is the part where we really start talking about the Ds, the D epidemic and what causes the D epidemic. The brain is super cool. It grows faster in the first 5 years than any other time of life, okay? By the time the child reaches age 5, their brain is fully developed to their adult size to up to 90% at just 5 years old. Okay, you have to remember this because we're going to be talking about stuff later on as far as what happens to the brain when it's out of balance because of these foods. So think of that, 90% of its adult size by age 5. Also, the brain is 60% fat, 60% fat. It needs good fat to keep it healthy. Fake fats make it sick. It doesn't know how to absorb fake sticky stuff, as Dr. Sears calls it, sticky stuff. You'd be surprised, the brain actually uses more of the food that you eat than any other part of the body, and it can run out of food very fast. So we probably think our muscles, our bones, all of those other areas, we're thinking, oh, we need to eat this because you need to have strong bones. Actually, our brain runs out of food and uses more of the food that you put into your body than any other organ in the body, okay? Putting smart food in your brain gives you better days at school. And you can tell your kids this, use this terminology. Sorry, you need to have smart food for breakfast because we need you to have a smart day at school, okay? Use those words, they understand that. Pollutants and food additives are stored mostly in fat tissue. Let me say that again. Pollutants and food additives are stored mostly in fat tissue. So then we go back to the brain being 60% fat. This is one of those wake-up call numbers that, you know, you guys should be going, hold on a second. 60% fat, and most of the pollutants and food additives are stored in fat tissue, okay? Where are the toxins going? Directly to our children's brains. So if you tell your children to think of their brain as a computer, hello, nowadays everything they do at school is on computers, they'll understand this analogy. The brain has a lot of electrical wires inside. Again, talk about this with them. Use these pictures and say, come here, let's sit down. Let's talk about how your brain works. How fast your computer runs or how well it can think depends on how fast those wires fire off, okay? Those wires need to be protected and kept safe with smart grow foods so it can think smarter and work well. It's the same as a cord. When you plug a cord in to charge your computer, the wires in that cord are protected by the outer lining of the cord, okay? There has to be a nice, smooth, clean outer lining to protect those cords. Same thing with your brain wires. If you want them to pop off properly, you have to give them clean, real foods to be able to protect them properly. If you give them fake, sticky foods, those wires, they are not gonna pop off. This is scientifically proven. So, how do you build a smart brain, or how do you talk to your kids about building a smart brain? Now, when I did my presentation, I had these little blocks, okay? I don't know if you guys have ever seen these, but these are little connect blocks that we use a lot in my kindergarten class. Actually, I would use them in first grade and second grade too. But if you have anything like this around the house, even if you had like Jenga blocks or something, and you wanted to do this activity with your child, and you say, all right, we're gonna build a smart brain with smart foods, and then we're gonna build a junk brain with junk foods. Your blocks are gonna be your smart foods. You're gonna put these blocks together and you're gonna say, all right, put these blocks together. Look at that. Oh, look, I'm putting some broccoli on there. Oh, check it out. I'm putting some strawberries and some apple on here. Ooh, some clean blueberries. Look at how easy that is. And then, you know, on a surface that you can stand it on and stand it up on, look at how sturdy that is. This is what we call smart foods. When you think about the smart foods that you're putting in your brain, this is what happens with your children's brains. They all connect together and they're sturdy. Now, I have these things called little counting bears, okay? Those of you that are teachers, you've probably seen these. We use these for math a lot. At my presentation, I would have the kiddos take these counting bears, and I don't know if you can see them, but you know, they're not sturdy. You can't really pile them up on each other. I would have the kids try to pile these up, and they don't pile up on each other. They don't connect. All right. And I would tell the kids, these are junk foods. You can't connect these. You can't make them sturdy. That's the same thing for your brain. You can't put junk foods in your brain and expect smart learning. You have to put smart foods in your brain in order for all the connections to work properly for your learning. Okay. So you talk about which foods make a smarter brain. Well, guess what, parents? Some of you are like, all right, my kids are 11, my kids are 14, my kids are 18. What can I do? I've already missed the early childhood years. It's never too late to start over. I'm finding that out a lot. Okay, I'm going to be 43? Yeah, 43 years old. Sorry, I had to think about that for a minute. I'm going to be 43 years old. I'm starting a lot of things over, but it is never too late to start. It takes the body, Michaela, what is it, 4 months, I think, to reproduce new DNA. I think that's what it is. So when you think about your child's taste habits and shaping your child's tastes, don't think it's too late to start over. You can start now. So here's some of the things that Dr. Sears suggests, okay? Super 16 and 616. Here are the differences between what real foods and sick foods are like. Now, as you read these, I'm going to tell you some of the things, like some of the foods that belong to the Super 16. Avocados, okay? These are grow foods. This is what we call them. Lean turkey, lean beef, blueberries, eggs. Obviously, any of these things that you can get as clean as possible, okay? Greens, spinach, arugula, nuts, nut butter, oils, certain kinds of oils like fish oils, flaxseed oils, olive oils, papaya, mango, strawberries, soy foods, salmon, if your kids will eat that, my boys love it. Those are superfoods, okay? Super 16 means all of these, let's see, non-minimal time in the food factory, contain healthy fats, are nutrient dense, are brain, immune, and system boosting. So I got 16 foods here that are the Super 16. Now the 616, check out the difference when you compare it to the Super 16. More time in a food factory, contain most unhealthy fats, are less nutrient dense, weaken the immune system, lessen attention and learning, proven, scientifically proven to do that, shape young tastes in the wrong direction, and it actually causes the D's, okay? These 616 are any foods that have artificial coloring in it, artificial flavor enhancers, artificial sweeteners, bakery bags like cupcakes, tarts, and Twinkies, and those Pop-Tarts and those pastries that are quick to grab in the morning for our kiddos. Candy, cereals with fewer than 3 grams of protein and added sugar, cottonseed oil, gelatin desserts with artificial flavors, and then some of the stuff that we'll talk about later, like hydrogenated oils, high fructose corn syrup, all the stuff you've been hearing in the news lately that this is bad for you and your kid, you don't need it, but yet you don't know why. You don't know what it's doing to your kids' brains. One of the books that we read in a lot of our presentations is this book, and thank you, Andrea. I didn't know if you knew I still had this, but I do. Eat Healthy, Feel Great. And in this book, it talks about traffic light or stoplight foods, okay? If you have this book or if you check this book out, it's a really good one to read with your kiddos. For example, this page, it talks about red foods. We don't eat these red foods, and it talks about pretty much the stuff in the 616, okay? Yellow light foods. These are foods that, you can still eat sometimes, but you just don't need to be eating every day. I mean, realistically, nobody's going to eat green light go foods every single day. All right. This is just not the world that we live in. At least it's not the world that I live in. So you talk to your kids about, oh, that's a yellow light food. We can have those every once in a while. And then in this book, and kids love books, by the way, so it's good to be reading this with them, green foods, grow foods. This is what Dr. Sears now calls it grow foods, okay? Real, filling, nutrient dense, they last for a long time. They give your brain the exact nutrition that it needs and the exact energy that it needs for real learning, not junk learning. So, some of the things that you can do to reshape your young taste. By the way, that was step 1. I just want to go back there. Step 1, feed your family, grow foods. One of the things I started doing with my little one, he's 4 years old. I started doing it after I read this book. I said, BJ, we don't eat that anymore. I'm sorry, bud, but we don't eat that. Well, why, Mom? Well, because it's not a grow food. And I want you to grow. If I want you to grow, I need you to eat grow foods. I kid you not, it's only been a couple weeks since I did that presentation. Everything he asks me now, and he's 4, going to be 5. Mom, is this a grow food? Mom, is this a sick food? Mom, is this a yellow light food? And I tell him, well, if you want to eat a yellow light food, you got to eat a grow food first. So don't think that they don't pick up on these things. You start using that terminology, he holds something up and he asks me if it's a grow food. And then when I fix him something to eat that I know is a grow food, I'm like, no, that would be, and I have to think about, what kind of food it is. And I mean, I do my best. I really do my best. We're probably about 60% grow foods right now, and we're getting better. But the kid's learning, and so are my other boys. My other boys are actually learning from him. Step 2, reshape young tastes, okay? I read about 3 different studies on the picky eater habits in families. So check out these statistics. If you start early, the earlier the better. If you start real food at 6 months, Dr. Sears actually has parents, take some of the Juice Plus capsules, we'll talk about that at the end of this, and sprinkle the Juice Plus capsules on a baby's tongue. And that starts to shape the baby's taste to a point that the baby likes the fruits and the vegetables that are in the Juice Plus capsules, that they start eating those real foods later on, okay? The best time to introduce new foods is between 1 and 2 years old. The best time to introduce. Go slowly, one simple change at a time. Do not control, avoid being the food Nazi and food threats. If you don't eat your vegetables, you're not gonna get your ice cream, okay? Don't do unrealistic restrictions. Don't tell a child to eat broccoli and then they look over your shoulder and you're having 3 slices of pizza and some Doritos chips. That's not going to be realistic for them, all right? Make meals more fun. Plan meals, cook together. Make your own happy meals, all right? Let them know a happy meal is just not the happy meal from that one place with the golden arches. A happy meal is a meal that you and dad and mom, grandma, whoever can fix in the kitchen. And actually, you guys, some of these meals that you have to make from scratch, if you have everything that you need, it doesn't take that long. I know we live in a drive-through world and we're made to believe that we need to have instant gratification with things anymore. But when you think about what it's doing to our bodies and what it's doing to our children's brains, it's really easy to come up with new ways to make new meals, okay? Make real foods a part of real life. Use the we principle. Like I said with BJ, parents who role model eating real foods will raise kids who grow up preferring real foods. Hey, Mom, do we eat this anymore? Hey, Mom, is this something that we eat? Well, BJ, we used to eat that, but we don't eat that anymore. So it works. I'm telling you, it's something that they will adapt to. Step number 3, begin the day with a brainy breakfast. We hear over and over again, breakfast being the most important part of the day. But do you know why it's the most important part of the day for your children, especially during the school year? Smarter students, higher grades, better attention and participation, improved memory, fewer Ds. This is all scientifically proven, again, okay? Healthier students, there are fewer illnesses and sports injuries for students who have a brainy breakfast to start their day. They tend to be leaner. When you start your day with a nutrient-dense breakfast, you are not hungry 2 or 3 hours into the school day, which means by the time you get to lunchtime, you're probably going to make better choices because you've activated the smart switch in your system saying, oh, I'm not really that hungry. Maybe I'll get some of this and maybe I'll get some of that. If you send your child off with a Pop-Tart or a strudel, or I don't know, there's so many things out there. They're going to be starving about 30 to 45 minutes into the school day because all of that stuff is just nothing but sugar, you guys, and it just burns right through them. All right. They need to have something that's nutritionally dense, that's sitting in their stomach, and that's slowly being absorbed into their system so that they can concentrate on whatever the task is at hand at the time. Start your day with real food. If a child starts school with junk food on the brain, you get junk learning. That's painful right there. All right, real food versus fake food. Kind of the same thing as the Super 16 and the 616. Real foods fill without being fattening. They satisfy hunger more. They balance blood sugar. They keep you healthy. They make you smart. They actually do cost less because when you think about you're making an investment instead of considering it an expense, you're making an investment in your child health. You're saving money in the long run by not having to go to so many doctor's visits or paying for prescription medications. And they help you live longer and healthier. And then fake foods on the other side, it's just the complete opposite. It's the complete opposite of what real foods do. So how do you identify fake foods and real foods? We'll get to that. Step 4, raising a grazer. I have 4 boys in this family. 3 of them are home from school. And I swear, I have to set snack times. I have to set snack times in my house because they are constantly going to the cupboard and they're constantly going to the refrigerator. Now, at first, I was thinking, oh my gosh, you guys, wait, eat at breakfast. Wait, eat at lunch, have an afternoon snack. Okay, wait, eat at supper. But now I'm realizing that it's okay for them to eat breakfast, a couple of hours later, eat a grow food for a snack. Okay, let them graze on something. Eat a lunch, and then a couple hours later, eat a grow food for a snack. I make that very clear with them that they're going to eat grow foods, not cookies. Then when they have supper, I let them have supper, and then I will let them have a treat if I feel like, it's a treat night, okay? But grazing is good for the brain. Kids are less stressed. It's good for the gut. It's good for weight control. It keeps the metabolism going. Toddlers are actually born nibbles, so you can make them a nibble tray. You don't even have to do that for toddlers. You can do that for anybody. Play the choo-choo game. Tummy talk, listen to your tummy. Serve super snacks. Serve a variety of grow foods. I have this list where there's so many check marks a child can make for how many times they, tried a grow food. So again, these are all steps and these are all suggestions. Remember, this all doesn't have to be done overnight. It's one simple change at a time. Now, here's the part that's really interesting. Picky eaters. Children's acceptance of a new food is influenced by the examples provided by the parents and siblings. The number of new exposures to a new food, perceived opportunities to taste a new food, okay? In studies of older children, multiple repeated exposures of a new food were needed to enhance food acceptance. So if any of you could guess, let's just say, I know you guys are all muted, but if you could guess how many times a parent will give a child a new food before they decide that child doesn't like food. Okay, just take a guess, all right? Primary caregivers for food chosen and offered were mothers, moms, 91%. We're the ones that choose the foods to feed our children, 91%. Picky eaters doubled from younger children to older children among those living in households with incomes of $25,000 to $75,000. Picky eaters were using the excuse, healthy food is too expensive. We can't afford it. We need to be able to buy foods and feed our children. But in the meantime, you guys, those children are the ones that are getting the sickest. Older children were more likely to be considered picky eaters. Higher percentage of picky eaters were reported to consume French fries at 12 to 24 months of age. 3 to 5 times, there it is, was the most frequently reported category for offering a new food. In this study, about 25% of the caregivers decided for the child that their child didn't like it after 1 to 2 times. And studies showed that at least 8 to 15, 20 exposures, according to Dr. Sears, of a new food is necessary for child acceptance. That's 20 times. Have you given your child an eggplant 20 times? Have you said, here, try this 20 times before you as the parent decided that they didn't like the eggplant? So parents, guess what? The number of vegetables liked by the mother predicted a vegetable variety consumed by the children. The studies suggest the importance of early exposure may have food acceptance. Again, early nutrition intervention. Who's responsible for the picky eater in your home, you guys? Dun, da, da, da. And it's hard to swallow, but it's so simple to say, oh, my child's a picky eater. My child's a picky eater. Now, she won't eat that. She won't eat that. You guys, it's our fault. We're not giving them the opportunities they need to accept new foods. Keep trying. Don't stop trying. Step 5, encourage healthy eating when and out of school. This is what I have a hard time with. As a public school teacher, I've seen the lunches our kids eat, okay? Schools present a confusing message to our children. If a school is supposed to teach me right things, why do they serve junk foods that mom says won't help me grow and learn? Look at this. This is a typical plate for Lincoln Public Schools. I know I've got people from all over on this call tonight. but this is a typical plate for Lincoln Public Schools. When I would go through the lunch line with my kindergartners or my third graders, this is what I would see them pick. They might order salad from Mrs. Montgomery in the classroom that morning. Oh yeah, Mrs. Montgomery, I want a salad. But I go through the line, they pick a pizza, orange sherbet, chocolate milk, a cookie, and corn. Okay, and you guys do know that the FDA does consider pizza sauce a vegetable. You do know that. So this is considered a vegetable, and the cheese is considered dairy. It's considered a healthy meal. I kid you not. This is one of the most common meals at our school. It's called a Mexican pizza. Again, pizza sauce, loaded cheese. I don't even know if that's meat. I'm not even going to, like, I don't even know if that's meat, okay? But it is, the choice is usually between this or this for the kids at our schools. And then for breakfast, what are they eating? French toast sticks with syrup, at least at the schools that I've worked at. Fruit Loops, okay? This is not something that we can seriously sit back and dismiss anymore. We have to do something about it. Schools who do serve healthy foods rarely have students who eat them. And so do you know they use that as an excuse why they're going to stop serving healthy foods? Well, if the students don't eat them, we're not going to waste money on them. Schools have said that before. We have got to advocate for our children, you guys. Tips and tricks for parents at school. Review the menu. You guys get a menu sent home with them? Sit down. Talk about, okay, I'm going to eat this meal this week. This is a pretty good grow food. We can do this. Pack their lunch. Make their own Happy Meal. Personalize your child's food. Andrew, you're the apple of my eye. You know, make it stupid. I mean, my 13-year-old would still like me to do that for him. You know, I love it. When you're away from home, nibble on some super snacks. Always have like a super snack ready to go in the kitchen. Now, I know this sounds like a lot, again, but please just take it in consideration that you're going to make a change maybe week by week to try some of these new things to eventually see that your family has made all these habits. Go to grow food restaurants. Order small portions from them from the adult menu. What do the kids' menus look like at restaurants? You have chicken strips, cheeseburgers, pizza, macaroni and cheese, okay? Do you know you can just order half a portion from some of the adult menus? The cost may be just a little bit more, but what you're doing for your child spares no expense. I mean, and I do mean like $1.50 more than what the kids' meals would be, okay? Have them eat a salad first. Teach them grow food before fun foods. Tell the truth. As a family, we are working on reshaping our eating habits. Sorry, sweetheart, we don't eat that. I love you too much. I love you too much to let you eat that. Check it out. Supermarket savvy shoppers, when you take your kids shopping with you, teach them all of these things that they look for when they go shopping, okay? All of these things. Just say no to red light foods. Hey, guys, go to the produce section. Pick out 3 greens and 2 purples. And they might come back with an eggplant and a plum. And they might come back with romaine lettuce, a pepper, and a cucumber. If you let them pick it out, you bring it home, you say, all right, this is what you picked out. How are we gonna incorporate this in our meal today? They had a hand in doing that, okay? It makes a difference. Teach them to look at stuff like this. Check out this yummy yogurt example compared to this yucky yogurt example. Calories, total carbs, sugars. This is probably what I look at the most. 9 grams of sugar in this little itty bitty tub of yogurt, okay? Oh, no, wait, that's the wrong one, sorry. This is the one I was talking about. Sugars, 17 to 32 grams. Okay, I was like, that one looks good. No added fillers, that's the good stuff. 17 grams of sugars. It has high fructose corn syrup, and it has colorings and stuff in it. Teach them to look the difference between the labels, okay? Now, this is the part that I think Michaela wanted you guys to understand the most. Here's what we call the foolish 5. When you avoid these when you avoid these foods, your diet for your children is already about 90% pure, okay? If a packaged food has any of these foolish 5s on it, the rest of the ingredients in that food are just suspect. So check this out, high fructose corn syrup. What does it do to your child? It's factory made, it's fake sugar, and that makes you want to keep eating when you're full. So the more high fructose corn syrup that your child has, or you, the more you want to keep eating when you're full. These are proven. Again, hydrogenated oils. It is the fakest and the sickest and the dumbest, is what Dr. Sears calls it, of all fats. It creates brain fog. It creates the chemical imbalance in your child's brain in order to have them have a clear head and a clear mind when it comes to learning. Numbers. This is probably something that's one of the biggest concerns. They all are, but this one. Numbers are actually neurotoxins, and it's literally poison to the nervous system, okay? So when you see anything that says red 40, yellow 5, that's what you can think about. This is poison to my child's nervous system. MSG. MSG overexcites the brain. It lies to your brain about fake foods, which is how children and how adults become addicted. Any foods with MSG in them, they're addicting. And then aspartame. Did you know that when aspartame is entered into the body, it turns into formaldehyde and chlorine inside the body? That's scary. That's just super scary, all right? So Splenda, any fake sugar, sweet and low, anything that has aspartame in it, diet drinks, this is what it's doing to us and our children. As soon as you walk in the grocery store, look at this. I got done with this presentation one night and I walked in, and in the front entryway of the grocery stores, look what you and your children run into. Immediately you have cookies, okay? More cookies. You've got potato chips. This right here, look at this colorful, beautiful cereal with little cartoon characters on it. Free, free, free. Tons of it right there in front of you. Oh, well, look at this, white breads, 95 cents. Oh, well, I'm in a hurry. And, well, okay, you guys go grab one of those cereals. I'm going to get this bread. It's only 95 cents. You're hit as soon as you walk through the door. And you guys, they know these kids are coming with you to the grocery store. They know they're going to be running up saying, Mommy, can I have some of these? Can I have some of these? And then on top of that, this one right here is when you're walking out. When you're checking out at the grocery store and you're putting your foods up there, your kids are standing with you, and what do they see? What is that, pink fluffy donut? I mean, like, what is that, you know? I mean, we live in a world where we have to fight for our children's health. It truly is a fight. So here's the biochemical balance, and I'm coming in the home stretch here, guys. Biochemical balance, balancing the food, or balancing the brain with food. When you try to balance a chemical imbalance with more chemicals, medication, when you try to balance a chemical imbalance with more chemicals, it causes a lot more imbalances in the parts of the brain. So the more medications you're adding to your child's diet, or ADHD, OCD, you know, all of the problems with the Ds, the more out of balance your child is actually becoming, okay? The typical child has the right balance of exciting and calming neurohormones. But the child who is fed the foolish 5 on a regular basis ends up with way too many exciting neurohormones, which is causing the hyperactivity in children, which is causing children to not be able to focus in school. Here's something else I walked into. How many of you guys have seen this in the middle of a large chain? I'm not even going to call their name out, all right? Immediately I walked in, I see these really cute little bottles. I mean, they're like 5.7 ounces, right? I pick one up, and by the way, they're right there, and they are at a level where kids can reach in and grab them, all right? They make it very easy for kids to grab. There's cute little cartoons on them. On the back, I pick it up. Look what we're dealing with here already. High fructose corn syrup, 14 grams of fat. Check this out, red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1, all in one 5.7 ounce bottle of fruit soda is what they call it, okay? 5.7 ounces. A parent thinks, oh, it's just a cute little bottle. Yeah, go ahead, grab 2 or 3. It's not gonna hurt. Yeah, you guys, it does hurt. It is hurting. It is hurting them, okay? All right, play these games with them. I'm gonna move it on a little bit. I Spy labels, show and tell. You can say, I spy with my little eye a label that has 6 grams of sugar. Show and tell. Show your child a grow food compared to a sick food. Those of you that have kids in sports, don't call it a grow food. Call it a baseball food. All right, I want you to eat baseball foods this season. I want you to eat soccer foods this season. We are not going to eat any of the 6-16. We are only going to eat volleyball foods or tall foods, okay? Play these games with them. Have them draw a commercial and hang it up in your home somewhere. During my presentation, I gave the kids some poster board paper, and I said, all right, you can either make a shock statement commercial like this, diabetes in a bottle. You know, it's kind of funny. They can come up with some funny things, but it gives them perspective. Or you can pick a new food and you can put a commercial, a drawn poster commercial on it on the refrigerator, and that's the new food that you're going to try for the week. Step 7, supplements. 3 important foods for preventing NDD, according to Dr. Sears, are seafood, because of the omega-3s, vegetables, and fruits, okay? Those 3. Any food itself that has to grow helps your child grow. And because kids grow so fast, they need more nutrients per pound than adults do to be used in addition to, not instead of, a real food. But there are some simple ways for you to get started. Omega-3s, he talks about the brain being severely out of balance. Hydrogenated oils are considered omega-6s, okay? So when you feed your child a lot of the omega-6s and not enough of the omega-3s, your child is out of biochemical imbalance, okay? They are at a disadvantage. So here's where we come to the part where most of you know the reason why you were on this call. One of the easiest way to get your child started, at least with the fruits and vegetables in their diet, is with the #1 nutritional product in the world. It helps bridge the gap between what you should eat and what you actually eat. You guys, it's Juice Plus. It's 30 fruits, whole food, clean fruits and vegetables in a capsule or gummy. It is third-party certified, and we are actually up to now 36 clinical research studies. It was 31. I mean, over 25 years of research that we have that cannot be compared to any other product. Here's what you get. Check it out. This is the Orchard Blend. This is the Garden Blend, and this is the Vineyard Blend. All of these foods are grown by the Juice Plus company. The final product is herbicide and pesticide free. It is non-GMO. It is kosher. It's NSF certified. I mean, this is the stuff you want in your children's bodies. This is the stuff you want in your bodies. But it's one simple change for us to make to at least get our children started on the right track to help balance the chemical imbalances in their brain. There's the Children's Health Study. In this Children's Health Study, many of you may already know this, the percentages of improvement in health are insane. This is actually an old picture. I'm still looking for the newer ones. The last time I heard, we helped almost over to I want to say 2 million. I swear they said that at conference. 2 million families that are involved in the Children's Health Study. And guess what, you guys? Kids between the ages of 4 and 18 and undergraduates, they receive Juice Plus for free. For free. My boys have been on Juice Plus for 3 years now. All 4 of them have been getting Juice Plus for free. They still get 1 more year for free. So ask your representative about that. I won't go into that discussion tonight. So check it out. There's something else that we have. Complete shakes. You're talking about, I don't have time to fix breakfast in the morning. I don't have time to get up and fix omelets and do this and do this and do that. I get that. I do. So check out what my family and a lot of other families do. Here we have our complete shakes. Naturally low fat, plant-based protein, fiber blend, ancient grains, and sprout blend. Safe for the whole family. Kids get clean food, brain breakfast food before going to school. They love making new smoothies and coming up with new smoothie recipes, and it's great. My boys probably drink it more for pre and post sports. We don't drink Gatorade. We don't do Gatorade. That's a new thing that I'm saying. We don't do Gatorade. I'm just saying, we don't do that, okay? Everything the brain needs for a nutrient-rich breakfast. This is my favorite over here. This is our 9-year-old, drinking a shake before he goes to his baseball game. And then here is our now 13-year-old. As soon as he got his new phone last year, he made a shake and he put it was like his first post on Instagram. Check it out. I just drank 20 fruits and vegetables and it tasted like chocolate. And he posted on Instagram and, he had friends at school asking about it. But my kids are living it, you guys, and they're sharing it with other kids and they're teaching other kids the importance of health too. This is an awesome thing. The Tower Garden, if you don't know about it, you guys have to because you know Michaela, so you have to know about the Tower Garden. Here's my baby. Gosh, he was 2 then. He's going to be 5 now. This was the first summer we had our Tower Garden. He was helping grow the foods on the Tower Garden. These are my preschoolers. I teach preschool twice a week to now 4 children. It was 3 at the time. These are my little girls. They helped me plant these plants, and check this out. This is my favorite over here. My little McKenna's over here eating the celery, and I'm like, McKenna, get in the picture, get in the picture. And she's over there munching on the celery that she just picked off the Tower Garden. BJ will go over and he will pick kale and spinach off the Tower Garden, and he'll say, Mommy, can I have this? And I'm like, you're asking me if you can have kale? I don't tell him it's kale. I don't think he even knows what kale is. But yeah, he eats it right off the Tower Garden. Okay? Prenatal health. There was a research done on how amazing the prenatal health is for those who take Juice Plus during pregnancy. Okay, I'm pretty sure, Michaela, I think you did a call like that a while back, so they probably know a lot about that. Here's a few customers that I've helped that I love. My friend Terry said, I was shocked. We got pregnant. We've had so much trouble getting pregnant before with the first two, and then I realized that thanks to you, Eric and I are probably 1,000,000 times healthier than we were before. I just love getting messages like that. This friend of mine, this was just a few weeks ago. I hadn't touched base with her. She got pregnant while she was on Juice Plus, and her baby's 6 months old now. And I was like, hey, I never did ask you how's the baby doing. She said he hadn't been sick one single time since he'd been born. And then he got his 6 month shot, got his first fever. Not sick one single time, got his 6 months immunization shot, and he got his first fever. That's unheard of. 6 months and a child not getting sick with any respiratory problems or colds or illnesses. I mean, that's just amazing to me. The most thoroughly researched nutritional product in the world. Again, your representative could talk to you more about this. Dr. Sears recommends Juice Plus to his patients. He's actually a medical advisor for the company. It's so clean that we even have doctors who allow cancer patients to take the Juice Plus powders through their feeding tube. That's unheard of. Through their feeding tube. That's how clean Juice Plus is. Multivitamins are pooey. I didn't have another word for it except the fact they were pooey. Maybe it's the kindergarten teacher or me, okay? Check this out. More studies are now showing that multivitamins are increasing risks of cancer and risks of disease. Do you see some correlation here with the rising disease in our children? Okay. And then Michaela. Michaela, do you have time for this, sweetheart?
It's up to you. I say we're good.
Okay, I'm going to play. Let me see. Let me get this out of the way. Here's our sweet Michaela. Hopefully it's going to come on okay. Her pharmacist perspective.
Hi, my name is
on Juice Plus in the body. Can you guys see it?
Nebraska. My husband Mark and I live on a ranch with our 4 kids, age 8, 6, 4, and 2. And I was first introduced to Juice Plus because I wanted a tower garden. I was in search of a tower garden. I love gardening, but I hate the weeds and the soil, and in our case, the 4.5-foot bull snakes that go along with it. And about 2 weeks after I had heard about one, my good friend, who's also a pharmacist, posted a picture of hers on Facebook, and I responded that I needed one immediately. Well, within one conversation with her, I went from never having heard of Juice Plus to being a rep for the company. To me, $50 a year for no minimums, no quotas, no inventories just made perfect sense to me. But I was not going to share it with a soul. And it wasn't until our family started seeing really great results that I knew that I took an oath as a pharmacist to do no harm. And by sitting on Juice Plus, I absolutely was doing harm. So my husband experienced decreased inflammation in his leg. I had been an ulcerative colitis sufferer and hadn't had the joint aches that I had previously had that led me to believe that I was going to have an outbreak. Our 8-month-old needed tubes in her ears, and I canceled the consult. She has never been on an antibiotic since we started Juice Plus, did not ever need tubes in her ears. Our 4-year-old that had trouble with focus was crawling on our laps and asking us to read full books and sitting there for the whole thing. And my 2-year-old that gagged at anything green was asking for salad and eating it. So at this point, I knew that I had to research what we were putting in our bodies. And the research blew me away. In order to get a pharmaceutical drug approved to the market, you need 2 studies that are on the specific population. So the fact that Juice Plus had 36 published clinical studies just blew me away. And of the utmost importance to me as a pharmacist was the bioavailability studies. And what bioavailable means is that product gets into your bloodstream and does what it says it's going to do. Ironically enough, there are no bioavailability studies on any prenatal vitamins, not a single one. And the reason for taking a vitamin is because we want to supplement what we aren't getting from food. And so Juice Plus is perfect because it is food. It has a nutrition label. It is NSF certified, which that means that what is on the label is in the bottle. Nothing that is in the product is not on the label, and that it does no harm. So as a pharmacist, those little characteristics made it just an absolute no-brainer for me to start sharing. But in addition to that, As a pharmacist, I had always asked if the product that I was being approached, asking if it was safe with their medications. I had always said, is it safe in pregnancy? Is it safe in cancer and chemo patients? And is it safe for our children? And luckily, Juice Plus is studied in all three of those populations. So to me, at that point, it was a no-brainer. I contacted a mom of a kiddo that had cancer and said, I think I have some peace of mind for you. And she messaged me back and said, how long have you known about this and why didn't you tell me sooner? And so that's why you're here tonight. That's why we're here tonight. Everyone deserves to know about this. What you do with the information is completely up to you. But you deserve to know about whole food nutrition that's this convenient. So I hope you have a great evening. Thanks so much for allowing me to share.
You're so pretty. I just love you. Okay, let me go ahead and get back and share my screen here. All right, so thank you. It really kind of helps for you guys to hear somebody who is in the medical professional community, or even more importantly, if you ask me, somebody who understands the importance of science and the bioavailability of something in your body, and Michaela definitely gets that. So why are you doing this? Why have you given me an hour of your time tonight? By the way, thank you, because you're taking an hour of your life and an hour of your time. Literally, I cannot exaggerate this enough, for the rest of your child's life. Okay, so I appreciate you guys being patient with me. This is why you're doing it. A number of preschool children who are receiving mood-altering drugs, either to perk them up or calm them down, has tripled in this country. Preschool children, you guys. Number of Ritalin for 2 to 4-year-olds has tripled. Mood-altering medicines like Prozac for children younger than 5-year-old, you guys, has increased tenfold. 60% of overweight 5 to 10-year-olds are already showing signs of a cardiovascular disease, okay? Children as young as 8 years are being prescribed cholesterol-fighting drugs to prevent future heart problems. And GERD, a huge one that's happening in so many children. Gastrointestinal reflux disease is now one of the most frequent diagnoses in children. 20 years ago, you guys, this was not even a typical childhood disease. All of these things are happening in our children today. So when you ask, why am I doing this? Why am I going to the organic food section? Or why am I shopping at Aldi's, looking for foods that don't have the foolish 5 in it? Think about this. 220 children's hospitals nationwide. Our children's illness is becoming a moneymaker. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat it at all. I want it to be a harsh reality for you guys. We've got to do something so that there's no more money being made off our children taking medications or being hospitalized off of the foods that we're eating, okay? We're losing the war against obesity in the US. It's sad but true. Our kids are growing up overweight and malnourished from a diet of processed food, and today's children will be the first generation to ever live shorter lives than their parents. When I joined the Juice Plus community, that statement used to say, today's children may be the first generation. It now says will be. It's time for change. It's time for right foods, okay? Type 2 diabetes, once being believed to only affect adults, is increasing. Sad thing is, it's increasing in girls more than it is in boys, okay? A study published in the Medical Journal of Pediatrics showed an alarming increase in the percentage of children on medication for chronic illnesses from 2002 and 2005. I couldn't find the recent study from the increase from 2005 to now, but hello, this is 11 years later, so that should say something. Rising disease in children, what is causing it? Processed foods, school lunches. Parents, we're creating the habits. We just don't know. The fact that you are here tonight and you're willing to be educated, that's the first thing. But what you take from this and where you go from here, and if you continue to shrug your shoulders and just be like, I do what we can, that's not good enough, you guys. You need to take actions. We are responsible. We are responsible for the health of our future generations, and it's much easier to establish good habits when children are young than to try to correct poor habits later. Parents need consistent messages about how to feed young children. If we can educate parents on the big impact on relatively simple dietary changes, we may be able to prevent obesity and chronic disease in our children. We worry about protecting our children on the outside, but you guys, it's time to start worrying about how to protect our children on the inside, okay? If we could put them in the bubble from the world, and trust me, everything that's going on today, let's start where we can do something and we can make a difference. So what's more worrisome? A child who climbs the walls after one sugary drink or treat, or a child who appears unbothered after gulping down 24 ounces of the same drink? What would be more worrisome? The answer, surprisingly, the seemingly unbothered child is at greater risk for the D's. For the apparently unbothered child, it is easy to get lax in your food choices. They eat more junk food when they are young, and then they pay the price for the D's when they're older. Fake food eaters may feel fine now, but get sick later. So guys, we're coming to the end of this. I do want you to watch this video. Put your child in the shoes of one of the children that you see in this video. Think about it if it was your child. Just do that for me, whether you are pregnant, whether you have a newborn, whether you have a 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 15-year-old, or heck, even 20-year-old. I got a college student that I'm still trying to revert to understand the importance of healthy food. So watch this video, and after this, we will wrap it up.
I probably would make a time machine. I would make medicine for the sick. I'd probably invent something new. If I could have an extra 5 years to live. You said 5, right? 5 years. It's a long time.
I would try to fix everything I did bad.
I would bring my uncle back because I miss him very much. I would get more hamsters. I would probably want to go looking for dark matter. I think I'd go looking for aliens. If I could live an extra 5 years,
I was thinking about making like a helicopter, like a wooden helicopter. But I don't have any wood.
I want to go check out the moon sometime. I'd probably teach my sister not to hate tuna. I would try and invent a machine that lets you learn at light speed. If I had 5 more extra years to live, I would be the boss of all the chipmunks. Eu cantaria na frente de 1 milhão de pessoas. I don't really know. I think I'd do anything. Why are you asking me that?
All right, guys. So as I wrap this up, I want to show you my why. Here's my family. Sorry, that video gets me a little emotional. There's a reason why. There's a reason why I work with young children. There's a reason why I work with children, period. Every time I see that, and if I think about, wow, if we are their biggest advocates and we're the ones to give them that extra 5 years, and they don't even know that we're the ones, are we going to do something about it? Here are my whys. These are my 4 boys. My crazy kiddos, my whole family. These are my whys. These are why I'm teaching grow foods instead of sick foods. These are why I'm saying we don't eat that anymore. These are why I'm taking them to the grocery store. And these are why I'm going to do my best. And I will flat out tell them, Mommy doesn't want you to eat that because that makes you sick. And you will not be able to play football and soccer and baseball like you want to. I teach them those things. They see the concern in my eyes. They hear it in my voice and they get it. I'll tell you, there was one cereal I bought from Trader Joe's first time this week. They ate it yesterday morning. Mommy, we don't like that cereal. All right, well, I'm not buying another box of cereal till we finish that. Did you try it a second time? Well, no. Mommy, is it a grow food? Yep. Went to the kitchen, immediately got the cereal box out of the cupboard. Both of them had it for breakfast and they finished it because I said, this is a grow food. This will not make my baby sick. The other stuff will. So make one simple change today to ensure their future tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming out and listening tonight. Before we go, I want to show you this picture right here. This right here is my baby girl. I do have 4 boys, but 14 years ago, we had a daughter. She was born with a serious heart condition. I did everything I could for her. I didn't know about Juice Plus then. I'm not even saying Juice Plus could have changed the situation, but I always wonder if somebody would have came to me back then and said, hey, Miki, if you do something for your child, or if I told you that you could do something for your child that might change your situation and give her a better chance at life, would you do it? I have gone to multiple amounts of people, and I have said that. And I have told them that Juice Plus is the one simple change that they can make to begin the journey to the dietary changes that their child needs. The people who brought you on this call tonight, are you going to listen to them? If you had a chance to give your child that 5 extra years, would you? I'd like you to really take it into consideration. Thank you.
Yay! Second, let me stop the recording.